the evil and dark side of the ambiguous androgynous trend that is going on in the world today. And this is what I'm going to be talking about today, guys. And before I get into it, quick disclaimer, this is not me judging anybody if you are fall into the category of what I'm talking about, but I feel it's important to comment about certain things because certain things I just feel like are not being said, and so I'm about to say them right now, okay? And see if anybody agrees with me. If you disagree with me, let me know all those things in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe if you enjoyed this video, if you're enjoying my content. I've got so many videos. I post every single day, guys, at least once a day, sometimes more than once a day. So please subscribe and like if you do like it. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because when I see these, first of all, I remember when androgyny, I remember when I first heard about androgyny, and I first heard about androgyny as a concept in America's Next Top Model. A long time ago, there was a model who was androgynous, and I remember Tyra Banks used to call people androgynous, which is kind of like, for those of you who don't know what androgyny is, it's where you kind of can have both a masculine and feminine nature to yourself. That's what you would call as androgynous, right? Cool, right? Great. Okay, cool. Now, I think some people kind of naturally androgynous in the way that they look to some extent. I do think the way we choose to present ourselves is going to make a difference. Of course, if I had my hair shaved and I had a couple slits in my eyebrow and I was wearing a really baggy t-shirt, you guys might think I'm maybe more androgynous as opposed to how I'm looking now. Maybe you guys think I'm androgynous looking now. Who knows, right? But the situation here is that why do I think this has become a thing, and why do I think this is an issue? It's an issue because we as men and women, one thing that I've been finding hard on social media, and I think a lot of you will relate to what I'm going to say, is it's become really hard to know what gender somebody is. And like, whether that's the traditional genders that I believe in, that God created, which is male and female, end of story, full stop. Obviously, not everybody believes that, right? In the world we're in today, there are more genders. It becomes very complicated because as much as we want to cater to all the LGBTQ plus different people who feel like, you know, maybe you're he, she, they, whichever you're identifying as, for those of us who are heterosexual, I think it's becoming harder and harder to just have heterosexual interactions. If I see, like, I remember there's a girl I've seen on TikTok, and she comes, I think it's a girl, oh my gosh, see what I mean? Here you go. And I think it's a girl. And she's a woman who is dressed, and she's black, right? She's probably pretty similar looking to me, to be honest. But then she's very, very male masculine looking. And I was going through the pictures. I just wanted to know, not out of judgment, I genuinely wanted to know, are you, you know, a man or a woman, or what is your gender, you know? I just wanted to know because I just wanted to know, you know, for those of us who are not necessarily, you know, homosexual or whatever, we want to know what people are. And so I feel like this whole androgyny thing, it's understandable, you know, but at the same time, we need to know, like, we want to know. Some of us want to know, and we want to know defined in a specific way. Some of us want to, like, I've seen so many women now, and you see this who pull off the masculine elements really well, you know, and it's very confusing. And this is why I think it was done. This is why I think there's a dark side to it. This is why I think it's evil, because it's trying to get you. Because if you're let's say you're a heterosexual male, right? And then you see an androgynous female, right? Or even an androgynous male. You see an androgynous male, right? So you can't really necessarily tell these very ambiguous androgynous people, because some of them, they're androgynous, but you can tell, right? That's definitely a woman, that's definitely a man. The instinct is, if you're attracted to this male who is androgynous and therefore masculine, feminine in some nature, you are instantly going to start to question, oh, am I even straight then, or am I this? Because everybody wants to kind of look at sexuality as this spectrum now. That's the new thing. Trying to say that you're just 100% heterosexual has gone out the window. Like, you can't say, if you say to a lot of people, oh, by the way, I'm just heterosexual. And again, it's not going against everybody. I say this all the time. It's not going against anybody. But as much as we want to protect the LGBTQ plus, let's also protect the heterosexual people, because I feel like nowadays, heterosexual people are being almost tricked, because it's going to be like, it's almost like a lot of people want to be like, ha, you thought, like, as if it was such somebody like me, they'd be like, ha, you thought that was a man, that's a woman, you see? So actually, you are kind of lesbian. And again, like I said, it's nothing against lesbians, but it's to say, why are we doing this? And I personally feel this is very evil. This is very evil, guys. I've talked about witchcraft is control and manipulation, right? Witchcraft witchcraft, evil, demonic witchcraft, is control and manipulation. It's getting you, there's a reason why a lot of people who are heterosexual, they respond to the extremes of the opposite sex, right? There's a reason why a lot of girls, they like bad guys, or women like bad guys. Why? Because they tend to ooze of masculinity in a lot of different ways, or at least the character traits that women see. On the vice versa side, there's a reason why men, a lot of heterosexual men, love the gentle, nurturing type of women, or the beautiful, the soft, the lovely spoken, you know, all of that, because that's what they attribute to what they're attracted to in the opposite sex, right? But now we're moving into a place where, because people are like, I mean, because men are even, I mean, sometimes, full honesty, for those of y'all on my channel, as somebody who's been in the dance industry, there was a time when I went to a dance competition. I took a team to a dance competition, and I realized that at this dance competition, you've got guys outdoing girls in feminine type choreography. When I say feminine type choreography, I'm not just saying they did a little bit of feminine. No, I'm talking about doing heels. I'm talking about things that are literally to do with women, and they're outdoing them, you know. And then the next thing is that they want to change their hair and they want to do their makeup. Before you know it, you've got a guy who looks very convincingly like a woman, right? And because they've done that, you have a heterosexual guy who will see that and be interested. A lot of times people can't help their attraction. This is why I think it's demonic. This is why I think it's demonic, because you're manipulating people. Because now there's nothing more disgusting. I almost feel like it's almost like, to me, there's nothing more disgusting than to realize that you have been attracted to something that you didn't want to be attracted to. And that's what I feel like is what happens with this ambiguous androgyny thing, is you can end up being attracted to something that is not what you intended. You can look at a woman thinking it's a man and then be attracted to the man and then think that, and then when you realize it's a woman, you're like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. I'm not even into women as a woman. And again, it's not about judging people. It's not about hating something. And it's just like, why do people push people so much as well? Why are people, and this is what's funny to me. When you look at both sides of the coin, people who are not heterosexual have an issue with heterosexual people pushing the heterosexual values, right? Or beliefs, or even just status. That's just their status. I'm heterosexual, right? But then on the other hand, they want to push you because they want to be like, oh, you thought so-and-so was attractive? You thought that, well, actually, that was a woman, not a man. So that means you must be part lesbian. Why? Why are you pushing that back over the other side? And that's why I think it's an evil thing. I think there needs to be a distinction. I think there's a reason. We're all unique and beautiful in our own way. And I believe God made us that way for a reason. I think adding all this confusion is not helping anything, because I promise you guys, the rate we're going in 100 years, no one's going to know who anybody is from anything. We're not going to know what our gender is. We're not going to know what we believe. We're not going to know nothing, because we're all just going to be so agreeable to everything. And that's not good, guys. It's not good. It's not a good way to be. I think there's a lot of healthiness, is that a word? In everybody existing in their own individual unique reality and purpose, but still being respectful and loving to those around us. That to me is what is the world thriving, not us all kind of looking the same, doing the same things, and everything just being a blur. That's very, very weird. And I think the evil powers of the world have done it on purpose. I think that's why so many ads now have got all these androgynous people. Like when I see ads now, like it's like, and this is what's sad for somebody like me who's a black woman, you know, so I fit into two social action categories, if you like. One of the things that I don't like about it is that now a lot of these adverts out there, a lot of these big companies, now what they do is they don't actually represent, say, somebody like myself anymore. Just a normal black woman who's heterosexual. They'll have a black person who's androgynous and you know, transsexual. Why can't we just, and so we are actually losing, for those of us who are heterosexual, we're losing our representation. And we're even losing our ability to just be who we are without it being offensive to others. Because it's like, well, why must you say that because this person actually was actually a female, then you're not happy about it? Because I get the right to say that, in the same way you're fighting for the right to say the opposite. Do you see what I mean? But people don't want to hear that. And that's why I think this is very evil. It's very, very evil, and it's confusing. It's very confusing, because the way I look at it, and I'll be bold and I'll be brash and I'll whatever, and I'll say it, guys, look. God made man and woman. He made us differently. He made us to be complementary. That's why when man and wife come together, they become one. Marriage is a thing of the Bible. It's a thing of God. It's not something we do. That's why I think if you are outside of God's formula for marriage, you need to call it something else. I'm not saying you can't be in a relationship. I'm saying call it something else. Civil partnership, I think, is fair, because this is a part of a belief system. In the same way you wouldn't want somebody taking your belief system and taking it away from you, don't do that to other people as well, right? But we can't, it's becoming tougher and tougher in this day and age because everyone just wants to blur the lines. And I actually think if we as society, excuse me, leaned more, I don't know why this always happens to me when I'm filming, by the way, like, if we as society leaned more into the understanding of gender roles and the differences of how we play a part, and not like trying to now say, oh, women don't matter or men or whatever, things would actually be better. I think we're doing too much to try and make everything the same and have this balance. I think the real balance comes in having a heterosexual woman and a heterosexual man come together. That's where you find balance, because they work together. The Bible says they become one. So that balance is there, but they've met each other in the marriage that was ordained by God, that was designed by him, and it makes sense and it works, you know. And that's what I think. And I just think this whole ambiguous androgyny thing, it's just leaving us more in a state of confusion. I don't know if you guys have noticed, even if any of you are offended by what I'm saying, ask yourself the question, are we actually in a place where we've got more clarity in the world, or are we just more confused? Are we just more depressed? Because my thing is, so many people are fighting for so many things. Has it made you happy now? Like, are you happy now? Are all your problems gone away? Have you overcome now that you've got your rights or whatever you have? Is everything good? Because a lot of those people are still committing suicide. A lot of people are still changing back. I watched a very interesting video about a transsexual or a lady, sorry, who had previously changed to a man, and she's a Christian now, and she talked a lot about how, you know, she transitioned back. People don't want to talk about that stuff. People don't want to talk about the fact that a lot of people, once they get into it, a lot of people who even identify as androgynous or whatever, when they get into a serious relationship, a lot of the time they still end up with somebody of the opposite sex, and a lot of the time they then revert back to what would be the classical, traditional, supposedly toxic as far as society is concerned, gender roles. You know, so how does that really add up? How does that make sense? You know, to me, it's because of this. That's the way that it was designed to be. That's the way that it works the best, and that's why you find that a lot of couples like that are happy. And unfortunately, you know, I don't know, it's just weird to me, this whole ambiguous androgyny thing. I think it's very evil. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If y'all think I'm wilding, if y'all think I've got onto something, let me know what you think about it. I just think it's very detrimental. I think it's very evil because it's trying to blur the lines that God purposefully created with a purpose. He made us as men and women very differently. A man does not have a womb. I have a womb. You don't have a womb if you're a man. It's a completely different experience. It means I can house a child. There's so many different things that go into that. Let's stop trying to blur the lines, because blurred lines, if you heard the song by Robin Thicke, which again was disgusting, talking about going against consensual, saying that, oh, well, you might have said no, but maybe you meant yes. Again, do you see what I mean? Like, it's when you really think about things, a lot of it is very evil. Anyways, other than that, subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one.